Hello again. I doubt if anybody will be surprised to learn that I am not a wealthy man. My shabby clothes, missing teeth, and generally unkempt appearance would probably be enough alone to suggest this, of course, unless I'm one of those eccentric misers one hears tell of, a latter-day Ebenezer Scrooge, perhaps, a man who dresses like a flood victim but secretly has a bulging bank balance. Would that this were the case. I mention this apropos of Peter Mandelson, who was sent $75,000, worth roughly £55,000, by Jeffrey Epstein, and who now says he can't remember what he received this money for, or whether he received it at all. If so, he's got no idea at all what it might be about. This really is very weird. I do not think offhand that anybody other than an employer has ever sent me sums of money in this way. Certainly not £55,000. I'm pretty sure that if anybody had sent me that much 20 years ago, it would have stuck in my memory. It would have been an outstandingly unusual event. Not for the likes of Peter Mandelson, though. Presumably international financiers were often sending him large sums of money like that. I wonder if anybody found it weird that when he was an MP, government minister, European commissioner, and so on, that he was receiving such large sums of money in this way. Mind, he was also hanging out with the Rothschilds and various other exceedingly wealthy people, so perhaps there were large amounts of cash flowing his way so often that the odd £55,000 could easily slip his memory, as indeed seemed to have happened on this occasion. It makes it all the more extraordinary that such a man was later appointed ambassador to Washington. Apparently, nobody knew what he was like. Then, too, there is the peculiar picture of his standing there in his underpants while talking casually to a young woman. This photograph, again, he can't remember anything about it, tells us a great deal as well about the man. There is obviously not a sexual element to the thing. Mandelson is a notorious homosexual. So it is not that he has just got out of the sack or anything after having a fling with her. Instead, he is simply standing there in his underpants, talking to her about something. What kind of man behaves like that? I simply cannot imagine talking to a woman in that way socially, unless I actually was fooling around with her. If I find that I need to talk to a woman about some matter, whether business or personal, I would certainly put my trousers on before having a conversation. He's standing there, though, as though it's the most natural thing in the world to talk to somebody in that way, just in your underwear. I wonder if any male viewers have ever had conversations like that with women with whom they were not on intimate terms, just chatted to them while standing there without their trousers on. It is my belief that rich and powerful people essentially belong to a different species to the rest of us. This is the only possible explanation for what we see with Peter Mandelson. He lives in a world where you can easily forget receiving £55,000 from some chum, and where it is the most natural thing to talk to young women while not wearing your trousers. I almost wish that I did move in such circles. Perhaps I'm too hidebound by bourgeois convention, and always putting on my trousers before speaking to women is a sign of being prudish and repressed. I certainly wish that I was so well off that I wouldn't be able to remember when people sent me the odd £55,000. I feel quite envious, actually.